Hi everyone. I'm gonna put my glove on. It's kind of chilly here where I am today, so I have on a couple of layers. Yeah, I hope you guys are warm wherever you are and bundled up and feeling nourished in your mind, body, soul. And yeah, happy Chinese Lunar New Year. I actually went to a festival. Well, happy current Chinese Lunar New Year. It was a couple of days ago. But yeah, I actually went to a festival locally where I am. And hi, bird. I wish I had my binoculars so I could see where you're at. Hi. But yeah, I really loved being able to just be immersed and experience and witness that, and have some yummy food and just celebrate the day and the traditions that occurred during that time. I actually spent a part of my high school years in China, and so being able to see the crossover and to see how beautifully the cultures and the traditions are like so held and nourished, it's so beautiful to witness, so beautiful. So I am so grateful. And yeah, so the last video I filmed was chapter 6, forgiveness and joining. So I can now move on to chapter 7, withholding. Was entitled Withholding. So if you have your books, please get them. Please come read along with me. And if you don't have a copy, whether physical or a digital copy, I can read to you. So let's get started. Verse 1, chapter 7. A major thought reversal is required now before we can go on. It has been stated and emphasized countless times before, and it will be here as well. What you give, you will receive in truth. What you do not receive is a measure of what you withhold. I want to read that again. What you give, you will receive in truth. And what you do not receive is a measure of what you withhold. Your heart is accustomed to giving in a way that your mind is not. Your mind would hold on to every ideal for what it might bring you, and is resentful to those whose ideals do come to fruition and succeed in getting desirable things within this world. I had that ideal. You lament when another succeeds where you have failed. I could have been where that person is, if not for the unfairness of life. You will. Your mind dwells in a world of its own, made up largely of if-onlys. Your heart, on the other hand, knows of giving and of a return not based on the world of your mind or physical circumstances. The sun is coming out. Yay! Despite disappointments most severe, your heart knows that what you give, you receive in truth. And yet, you would withhold a piece of yourself, even from love, and this is what we must correct. For what you withhold, you cannot receive, and you cannot receive a piece of heaven, nor know a piece of God or your own self. Your giving must be total for you to receive in truth. We will concentrate more now, however, on withholding than on giving. For you do not yet understand what you would give, for you do not recognize what you have to give. You do, however, recognize what you withhold and can begin to recognize this in every situation. As this awareness of your withholding dawns upon your heart, you will begin to realize what you do not give, and with that, the realization what you have to give. this is also reminding me of sharing myself, right? Like sharing my creations on Etsy and Patreon, but also just being honest with myself. And as I've been able to explore more of who I am and experience things and get out of my, comfort zone, I have been able to uncover more of my soul and like what I want to do and the ways that I want to create and how I like to connect and different activities that I really enjoy and that nourish me. And so I can feel the truth that like when you give, giving must be total for you to receive in truth. It's like when we have doubts or we hold ourselves back, are we being true to who we know ourselves to be? Are we being true to the unlimited creative power that we hold? And are we stopping ourselves from experiencing things that we really, really want to experience by not allowing ourselves to do those things, or not allowing certain people to be in our lives, or whatever the case may be? And so this really can really touch on different situations within ourselves, but also how we're connecting with others, as well as how we are showing up for our businesses, whether you're an entrepreneur or even like working at a company or an organization, right? And so or how we're showing up for if you have kids, or you're showing up for your family. So I'm excited to delve deeper into this chapter and what Yeshua is sharing with us in this chapter. So let's keep going. Verse 3. Comparison of one thing to another. A comparison that seeks out differences and magnifies them. It names one thing this and one thing that is the basis of all learning in your world. It is based on contrast and opposites, and on separating into groups and species. Not only is every individual distinct and separate, but so too are groups of individuals, pieces of land, systems and organizations, the natural world and the mechanistic world, heaven and earth, and divine and human. In order to identify yourself in this world, you have had to withhold a piece of yourself and say of this is what makes me uniquely who I am. Without this piece of yourself that you have determined to be unique, your existence would seem to serve even less purpose than it does now. Right? Because I think this is, what's coming up is if we felt like we didn't have that piece to say like I'm uniquely this, then it's almost like purposeless. You feel purposeless, or that would be like the mind would say, would run those types of thoughts. But also what's coming up is like, and in essence, like, you wouldn't feel excuse me, let me get some water. But what I wanted to say is that from this verse, what's coming to mind is that without placing a piece of yourself or separating yourself, I think the mind has deemed that like, oh, then I wouldn't feel special, or what would be my purpose here, or like I would need to make other people feel special. They need to have these separate and these very specific special ways of relating with them, and the relationship needs to look at this type of form. So so let's keep going. Thus, that which is most separate, or that which you have determined separates you the most, is that which you value most highly. verse 5. This one thought constitutes a thought system in of itself, for it is the primary thought by which you live your life. Your effort goes into maintaining this illusion that you must, that what you are must be protected, and that your protection rests on holding this piece of yourself separate. Like the love you set aside from this world, this thought too is one that can be used, for it recognizes that you are as apart from this world as love is. The harsh realities of this world may claim your body and your time, but this one piece of yourself that you have set aside, you allow it not to claim. This piece is held within your heart, and it is the piece with which we now will work. This is the piece that screams never to that which would beat you down. Life is seen as a constant taking away, and this, you claim, will never be taken from you. For those whose lives are threatened, it is called the will to live. For those whose identity is threatened, it is called the cry of the individual. For others, it is the call to create, and for still others, the call to love. Some will not give up hope to cynicism. Others label it ethics, morals, values, and say, this is the line I will never cross. It is the cry that says, I will not sell my soul. Rejoice that there is something in this world that you will not bargain with, something you hold sacrosanct. This is yourself, capital S, the soul. Yes, this self that you hold so dear that you will never let it go is precisely what you must be willing to freely give away. This is the only self that holds the light of who you are in truth, the self that is joined with the Christ in you. To this self, it is this appeal put forth. Let it be heard and held within your heart. Hold it joyously alongside what already occupies your heart. The love you set aside and the piece of yourself that you won't let go. As you learn that what you give, you will receive in truth, you will see that what abides within your heart is all that is worthy of your giving and all you would receive. Let's see, next page. Okay. Verse 9. Let us return now to what you would withhold, and see the effects that this withholding has upon yourself in the world that seems to hold you separate. This is indeed the first and most general lesson in regard to withholding. The world does not keep you separate. You keep yourself separate from the world. This is what has made the world it is. So let me read that again. So the most general lesson in regards to withholding is the world does not keep you separate. You keep yourself separate from the world. And this is what has made the world it is. What you withhold allows illusion to rule and truth to be locked away in a vault so impenetrable and so long secured that you have thought it forgotten. You have not realized the vault is your own heart, or that the truth is what you have chosen to keep secure and set aside there. So it's saying here, I just want to stop to make sure that, I feel called to speak here. So what it's saying is that what we're withholding is ourself, is our true self that is it's within our heart. We can reach that. We can reach our soul and who we are through the heart, right? And so what it's saying is that we are, like, if you can imagine a vault, or something you have locked away, we're locking away parts of ourselves, not giving our full selves, the love that we are, right? Whether it's due to doubt, whether it's due to being afraid that someone is going to break our hearts, whether it's being afraid of certain experiences because we can't control what the outcome, because we think the outcome is going to be this horrendous, horrible thing. We lock ourselves away from experiencing things, from knowing ourselves, from knowing our brothers and sisters, from knowing God, by not sharing who we are. And so we lock away the truth, right? And so because we're withholding that, because we are withholding who we are and the love that we are, the world that we see is the illusions that we've created, the illusions that we've allowed to rule, the illusions that we've created from a place of thinking that we're lacking, thinking that we are, and because of the separation, right? Because the illusion that we're allowing to rule is due to the world that we're seeing, because we're keeping ourselves separate from all of creation. We're keeping ourselves separate from each other, or we think that we are, right? We then experience these things that feel like pain or feel like depression or anxiety, and I'm not trying to invalidate that these are very, very real experiences, but due to the separation and due to the forgetting of ourselves, right, we then forget why we're here and like the experiences that we can have, and so we choose to create. We were given the power to create, and so in the moments that we forget, we create from a place of lack or from a place of scarcity or from a place of doubt, and so then that shows up for us as these painful experiences. And I think that's what I wanted to share. I think there's more that wants to come through, but I hope that was clear. And let's keeping on. So, right. And so I think what's also emphasized here is the choice, right? As Jesus Yeshua has shared with us in previous chapters, that we have a choice for love or a choice for fear, a choice for separation or a choice for union, right? And so what it's saying here, that we have chosen by our own accord to keep our hearts. He's saying you have not realized that the vault is your own heart, right? But we have chosen to keep it secure and to keep it set aside. So let's keep going. When you believe that this is so, and that what you give away you will receive in truth, you will throw open the doors to this safe house, and all the joy you have kept from yourself will return. A great exchange will happen as a powerful wind sweeps through your heart, and all the love you have denied the world will be released. It will flow in every direction, leaving not a corner of the universe untouched. In an instant, the eternal will be upon you. Death will be a dream as the wind of life reunites with itself, gathers from directions that are beyond direction, and breathes life back into what has so long been locked away. After this, a gentle breeze will come, and never again to leave you, as life breathes as one. Doesn't that just feels beautiful? It just feels, Verse 10, and then I think I'll stop there. I always forget the timing of these. Time just flies by when I'm doing these videos. So think we'll stop here and then pick up on verse 11 tomorrow. So let's finish up on verse 10. Your withholding takes on many forms that nonetheless are merely effects of the selfsame cause that keeps truth separate from illusions. Where truth has come, illusion is no more. Truth has no need for your protection, for truth, brought to illusion, shines its light into the darkness, causing it to be no more. Yes. And I love it. I love how Yeshua talks, like how he explains here that our withholding and the way that our withholding and the way that we make ourselves unique, or try to separate ourselves, it shows up in many forms, right? And even in forms that we may consciously be able to recognize, like, yeah, I can see that, or yeah, but also because we've done it for so long, and we come here and we forget, it's also unconscious, right? It's also in ways that that are unconscious, or that we may not be able to recognize right off the bat. And sometimes it's almost like kind of how like emotion. Sometimes you're like having an emotion, but you don't realize yet like what it is until you kind of like, let me kind of look past the veil. Let me kind of see what's going on, sit with myself, and then, I'm feeling this, or the feeling that I'm experiencing is this. And so I feel like it's the same with the effects of the illusions and the illusions that we're creating. It's like, as we continue to, shed, right? As we continue to shed these, what we consider darkness, or what we consider as just things, the beliefs that are like outdated and are not true, like not based in truth of who we are. As we begin to shed those, the ones that may seem obvious or might be, oh yeah, like that's there. The beauty is that we begin to see more and more and more as we shed. And it's reminding me of even how like the sun, right? The sun is there, but sometimes there's clouds. There's so many overlaying clouds, but the sun is always there. Like our light is always there. And it's like when we continue to choose love, when we continue to choose connection, we continue to choose ourselves and the ways that the different the ways of love, truth truth can't hide, right? It shines light into the darkness. It shines light to the parts of ourselves that feel like so many onion layers, there's so many clouds over the sun, and it's all beautiful, right? Even the dark parts, or whatever terminology you use, it's all still so beautiful, and it's a journey, and it's in all of who we are. It's so beautiful, and it brings us closer to ourselves and to all of creation. I hear you, birds. I love you. And please share in the comments below if anything from this chapter thus far has touched you, has touched your heart, what's coming up for you. I would love to hear what's coming up with you, what's coming up for you, and what you're feeling. And so feel free to comment below. And I also, my Etsy is going live. Not my Etsy, my Etsy is already live. My Patreon is going live today, so I'll put those in the descriptions below. Etsy is just where I have it's the home of all of my beautiful, soulful creations and offerings. So if you feel called to check that out, feel free. And then Patreon it's new for me, but I am excited to offer that for anybody who wants to support me and support the work that I am bringing to the planet, and to just be in greater community and to learn more about plants together and flowers and herbs, and to just journey together, and to receive goodies from me, offerings, and discounts and all types of things. So if that sounds juicy to you, or if that sounds something like you're interested in, feel free to check those out. So again, thank you for listening, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, warm, nourishing day. Much love. Bye.